Welcome back. All right. So, hope everyone is getting stuff done, working on things. Actually, just threw a load of clothes into the washing machine. All right. So, let's get started because I want to do a quick presentation of some stuff that I've been working on. Because, like I said, I feel like this website untilit.works is doing pretty well. Like it's at a point where it's working and it's functional, so and then until things start happening and people let me know stuff doesn't work the way they think it will, then I'll apply a fix. But for right now, I think we're at a good operating point. So let me know if you run into anything, and also hit me up in the chat room, or if you have any questions, you can ask questions there as well. But I wanted to kind of go over some stuff. Okay, so this is the thing I've been kind of working on. So like now that this is kind of, like I said, working pretty well, I want to go back and start working on some other side projects I've been meaning to do. So anybody that knows me knows I'm big into like streaming, right? And so working at Vonage as a JavaScript developer advocate is great because we do a lot of streaming stuff. So like I'm using it now to stream these videos. And so that's cool. So I'm so much of a big of a fan that I go to a lot of meetups. And so I figured, hey, for people who can't make the meetups, like be there in person, I would stream it, because I've streamed other events like different hip hop shows and all sorts of things like that. So I've done streaming before. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to these meetups anyway. Let me go ahead and stream it for people who can't make it. Because there was like because people, they have lives outside of work, and they have other responsibilities that they have to do. So they have to be home for certain things, and family and things, important things like that. But they'd still like to be a part of the local community. So with that, I created a website. Let me share the screen. I don't think I'm gonna need any audio. Maybe I'll share the audio in this case. So I created this website because I make random things. So all right, so this is otech.events. And so it's a website I created. Let me refresh it because there's a cool animation. If I can find my mouse, there we go. And so this is otech.events. It's a website I created so it would list all the upcoming events in Orlando. They're like the tech events. And so here's this. And then there's I have a list of the upcoming ones. There we go. So you got some upcoming ones here. And this updates. I think I have like a cron job that checks an API. I think I'm using the meetup API. And so we'll see. But yeah, so this pulling that like every 3 hours, I think, if I remember correctly. It's a while since I did this. And so these are different upcoming events. Here's an archive of the different events. So these are the ones that I was streaming. We'll come back to that. And then so from Meetup, here are all the different groups that I'm pulling the upcoming events from. Cool. And then of course, there's a shop. By the way, I think it might still be happening. There's like a 40% sale, or there's something sale, I think, happening in this shop. So you can check that out. It's the same shop that's right there above. There's a link for shop. So there's that one. And then the about. Oh, come on. All right. Cool. So yeah. So here's all the different things I used to make it and stuff. Yeah. All right. So, but here's the archive. And so let's take a look real quick. So I'm doing a horrible job at this. Sorry, I'm just all over the place. But let's say you wanted to see this event. Click that, and it shows you information about the event. Also, there's a map. So where it's happening, and then you can tweet it as well. Cool. Go back. So now let's check out the archive. So this is one of the last ones we got to actually stream. So let me see. So view info. And so here's the video that I created. So this is the live stream.
There's two parts.
Yeah, so you kind of see
you've seen this express, or you've seen kind of.
So I had this whole elaborate setup so I could show the person speaking and their screen. Is a whole lot of stuff. So, oh, and this has like the details and all that stuff too. Okay. Now, so I was doing all that, and then like the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh, we could still use it. So I created like a whole backend so that meetup organizers can log in and stream the events themselves or what have you. Cool. So that's kind of like, you know, what I would like to do as far as like streaming and stuff. So, all right, there's that. Now, one of the cameras that I use, let me stop screen share. So, real quick. So there's this camera here that I've been using, and it's called the Insta360 1R. And it's pretty cool because it like comes apart. So like here is like the brains. Here's the lens where you can actually take these apart. Here's the battery. You could take it apart and put on another lens. So they have different lenses that you can use. And so this is pretty cool. I have a bunch of different cameras that I use to live stream. Because like I said, I've been into it for a while. And so let me share back my screen. So now, one of the things I ran into was that in order to live stream, that you would need like an RTMP server. So let me share my screen again. So recently, so these cameras have recently gotten the ability to live stream. So which is pretty cool. So a lot of cameras are going that way because it's just some software updates. And so this Insta360 1R actually, and like I said, see, there's one of the lenses is a 360 lens. So you can shoot 360 videos. All right, this is not an ad for Insta360, but they make some good stuff. And so now they're saying like how you can stream with it, which is pretty cool. So they have the different kinds, like you can reframe the shot, or you can just have the viewer look at the 360, a bunch of stuff. So, so it all pretty much involves like you go to YouTube Live, you know, directly. You can go to I think Facebook and a bunch of stuff. But the one I was most interested in is you can do your own endpoint. So some of the software I was using before, like OBS, for example. You could create like an RTMP server endpoint, and you'd point the camera to that, and then you'd be able to stream and bring it in as a source. So if I remember correctly, but I was using an online service where you would be able to point the camera, the Insta360 or whatever camera you have. Mevo is another one I've been using also. You can point that feed into that software, and it will do all the stuff for you, and then you can send that out. And that's what I did for otech.events. So that's what I did there. So now I'm thinking I want to see if I could do it myself, because otherwise I don't want to have to log into this and set up all these other stuff. I just kind of want to have a place where I could just point the feed and be good to go. So I didn't need all the fluff and stuff. So when I researched all that, you could set up an RTMP server, which is what I needed, but then you had to set up this whole thing with Nginx and downloading these packages and setting this up and all these things. And I was like, no, I'm good. And it wasn't until recently that I came across this project from Illuspas, ILLUSPAS, on GitHub. And it's a Node media server. And I'm like, oh, I've done stuff with Node before. So cool. So let me check this out. And the way he sets it up is it's amazing. Like everything is there for you. It's just you set it up and you even get like an admin panel and it shows you all these things. So, and then you can, the feeds, you can actually look at a preview of the feed through the dashboard. So it's kind of amazing. And it has everything that I needed. So you can set up RTMP. It has support for HLS-MP4. You can record the streams. You can do WebSockets. Like there's a lot of stuff. And like, so you see here's the RTMP stuff. So my thought is that, all right, create this Node media server, which I'm more familiar with Node than having to do all the Nginx stuff and setting up this environment and all these things. So I was like, oh, let me get this a shot. I'm like, cool. Let me try work it out because this seemed pretty straightforward. So like you have the configuration, like this is the code to run it. So you have the configuration, you set your RTMP port, your HTTP port, and then you just create it and then run it. Pretty amazing. And then you push the streams. Then you can do it from OBS as well. So this is what I'm looking for. So this is what I would need to put into the application for the camera so that the feed knows where to go to send the video. So yeah, so this creates that endpoint for me. And so they have all HLS, Dash. It's kind of amazing. So it's pretty cool. So I was like, well, where would I host it? Because it's going to be, I think it'd be too much for like Firebase. And so I came across this video. Big shouts to fireship.io. I've been a big fan. I'm like a lifelong member on there. They had like a deal where you pay a certain money and you have like lifetime access to the courses. So I did that. So fireship.io. I remember when it was like Angular, what was it? Angular Fire or something like that. I think it was back in the day, but it's Fireship now. And so he had this whole thing about 7 ways to deploy a Node.js app. And one of them was a Google App Engine. And I'm using the standard one. He spoke about flexible environment and standard environment. And from what he said in the video, I went with the standard. So he talked about Cloud VM, App Engine standard, which I'm using, App Engine Flex, Kubernetes, Cloud Functions, and Cloud Run. And from what he was saying, I felt like the cloud, the App Engine, Google App Engine would be best for my needs. And so I went through a tutorial, like a guide to set up a basic one. Cool. So then I went and then I created another project for the Node media server. And so this is what I have. I have it deployed now. So this is it. Pretty cool. So we've got the streams. So this is where the streams would show up if I'm live streaming. So I'm still working on that part. I just wanted to get this server up and running. And then we have the profile. And so it looks like 2x unknown CPU. So is the OS, Linux. The memory is 2 gigabytes. And the version of Node, 14.7, 17.3. And then the uptime. So this is how long I've been running it for now. And then the version of Node Media Server. And now the thing is that I'm not sure about is that, as you can see, the CPU usage is 100%. Not sure what that means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at some point, hopefully today, take this camera and start feeding the live feed from the RTMP server endpoint that I get from here and see if that works. So I'm thinking I will try that and see if, and say if it works, like show if it works or not in the cipher that's happening later today. So if you want to check that out, you can always get the notifications for that. Yeah, at the top it says like subscribe. You'll be able to check out that. All right, so now my question is, has anybody done this before with the Node Media Server? And have you deployed it to Google App Engine standard? And if you have, is this normal with the CPU usage? I don't know. That seems kind of worrisome to me. But you can see the memory usage is basically 0. and stuff. So we'll see. I'm going to try and stream from here to there and see what happens. Would you go this way? Do you know of another way that you would set up a media server, like in the cloud? This is what I'm looking to do. All right. So if you have any thoughts, please let me know. And that's where I'm at with this project. And so, yeah, so I'll give like little updates and things on the progress of it, I guess, if you're interested. But yeah, so that should be cool. All right. Yeah. So let me know again if you ever have any sort of experience with this and you've done this before. And yeah, hoping to get that worked out soon, because it's a pretty cool project I want to work on. It's just a thing that I think would be super cool and helpful for folks as well. So yeah, nice little side project. Okay, so thank you all once again for hanging out. I'm going to get you all back to work, and hopefully everything you're working on is going well. And I still got some promo stuff, so I'm going to be on Instagram and Twitter promoting the past radio show from yesterday. So all right, I think that's going to be it. Let me get you all back to work. Thank you once again. We'll be back. So the next break session, we're going to talk about a independent hip hop artist and look at their website and maybe play some music and stuff. All right, cool. So again, thank you for hanging out. See you soon. Good luck with whatever it is that you're working on. All right, be easy. Peace. Oh, I forgot. Almost forgot the outro. It's not official if you don't have the outro music, right? Okay, here we go. Thanks again, y'all. If this would go, all right, cool. Here we go.
I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when the brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like yeah. And everybody says yeah. We spread a love like yeah. I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you.